This video isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about the first real turning point, the moment you stop living paycheck to paycheck and start gaining control over your life. If you've ever felt like you're working hard but going nowhere, or that no matter how much you earn, it never seems to stick, this will change how you see time, money, and progress. Inside this video, you'll discover a practical path to building your first $100,000, not through luck, but through a shift in how you use what you already have. You'll see why most people stay stuck even when they have opportunities, how small, invisible habits are quietly shaping your financial future, what actually creates momentum, and why most people never reach it. This isn't about extreme hustle or complicated strategies. It's about understanding the few decisions that, over time, can completely change your trajectory. If you watch until the end, you'll walk away with a clearer sense of direction and a different perspective on what's actually possible for you. Because the goal isn't just to make money. It's to reach a point where money stops controlling your decisions, and you finally start thinking long-term. 1. Take back your time. Money doesn't start with money. It starts with how you spend your time. Every dollar you will ever earn comes from something you learned, something you built, or something you did. Action, learning, growth. That's the real origin of income. As Benjamin Franklin once said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are already investing, just not in the right place. After work, they scroll. Before bed, they watch. On weekends, they escape. And slowly, silently, they trade their future for entertainment. Not because they're lazy, but because it's easy. It's just 1 hour. It's just today. I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't build momentum. Time does. As Warren Buffett put it, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So let's break this down. A normal day has hidden windows, blocks of time that most people waste, but a few people use to change their lives. Morning, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Before the world starts. No noise, no demands. This is the highest quality time for learning and deep work. Even just 1 to 2 hours here, consistently, can completely shift your trajectory. Evening, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. After work. This is where most people switch off. But this is also where momentum is built. Instead of escaping, you build. One skill, one project, one step forward. Dead time, throughout the day. Commutes, waiting, small gaps. These moments seem useless, but they add up. Podcasts, audiobooks, notes, reflection. Turn passive time into active growth. Because here's the truth. You don't need a new life to succeed. You need to reclaim the one you already have. As Jim Rohn said, either you run the day or the day runs you. Right now, for most people, the day is running them. But the moment you take control of your time, even just a few hours a day, you change everything. Because every hour you invest in a skill compounds. Every hour you waste compounds too. So if you want to go from $0 to $100,000, don't start with money. Start with your time. Because the way you spend your hours today is quietly building your bank account tomorrow. 2. Cut costs to the extreme. If time is the foundation, then money is the fuel. But here's what most people don't understand. You don't get rich from what you earn. You get rich from what you keep and control. Right now, most people are stuck in a loop. They make money and immediately give it back. Rent, food, subscriptions, impulse spending. And at the end of the month, there's nothing left. No buffer, no leverage, no second chances. So when life hits them, they don't have options. They have pressure. This is why cutting costs is not about being cheap. It's about building something far more important, financial safety. Because the money you don't spend becomes your runway. Runway is what allows you to try something new without fear, fail without collapsing, learn without rushing, stay in the game long enough to win. Without runway, every decision becomes emotional. You panic, you quit early, you choose comfort over growth. But with even a small buffer, You think differently. You act differently. As Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That leftover is not extra, it's your future flexibility. It's what separates people who must survive from people who can take calculated risks. And risk is where growth lives. So when you cut costs, you're not just saving money. You're buying time, freedom, and the ability to make better decisions under pressure. This is why, in the beginning, you go extreme. You simplify everything. Cheaper living, minimal spending, no unnecessary upgrades. Not forever, but long enough to build a financial base. Because once you have that base, even if it's small, you are no longer fragile. You don't break when things go wrong. You adapt. And that changes everything. Because the game of building $100,000 is not won by the smartest person. It's won by the one who can stay in the game the longest. And that only happens when you stop leaking your fuel before the engine even starts. 3. Build your income. Once you have time and you've stopped leaking money, now comes the part everyone wants to skip to, making more. But here's the truth. Income is not random. It is a direct reflection of your skill level and your value to the market. As Alex Hormozi says, your income is a lagging indicator of your skill set. So if you want to go from $0 to $100,000, don't chase money. Build something that earns it. Step 1. Pick a skill people already pay for. Don't guess. Don't follow trends blindly. Look at where money is already flowing. Businesses are constantly paying for attention, marketing, content, ads, conversion, sales, copywriting, retention, customer experience, systems. These are not nice-to-have skills. They are revenue skills, and revenue skills get paid. Step 2. Focus brutally. One skill, one market, one channel. That's it. Because most people fail not from lack of effort, but from divided effort. As Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Depth beats variety. Step 3. Learn by doing, not consuming. Watching videos doesn't build income. Doing does. You write, you sell, you post, you fail, you adjust. Again and again. As Elon Musk said, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of problems you solve. So you need reps, not 10, not 100, thousands. Because skill is built through feedback loops, not theory. Step 4. Turn skill into cash. At the beginning, don't overcomplicate it. You are solving a problem for someone who is already willing to pay. A business needs leads. You help generate them. A creator needs content. You help produce it. A company needs sales. You help close. Simple. Value to exchange to income. Step 5. Increase your active income aggressively. This is the phase where you push. You take on more work. You improve faster. You earn more. Because your first $100,000 does not come from passive income, it comes from focused, aggressive, skill-based income. And here's the key. The more you earn, the more you can reinvest into better tools, better mentors, better opportunities, which then increases your income again. That's the loop. Final shift. Most people wait until they feel ready, but readiness is a myth. You don't become confident and then take action. You take action and confidence follows. So if you want to go from $0 to $100,000, stop waiting. Start building. Because income doesn't come from ideas. It comes from execution. Repeated, imperfect, relentless execution. 4. Don't upgrade your lifestyle. This is where most people lose the game. Not at $0, not at $10,000, but right when things start working. They earn more and immediately start living better. Better food, better clothes, better lifestyle. And just like that, they reset themselves back to zero. Same pressure, same stress, same lack of progress, just at a higher level. As Morgan Housel said, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. So here's the rule. Your income goes up. Your lifestyle stays the same, at least for now. Because your goal is not to look successful, your goal is to become financially solid. And that only happens when you bank the difference. The real goal? $100,000 in the bank. Not revenue, not income, not I made it this month. Actual money. Saved, controlled, available. Because that $100,000 is more than a number. It's 1 to 3 years of breathing room, the ability to say no, the freedom to think long-term. It's the moment you stop reacting to life and start designing it. Why lifestyle creep is dangerous. Lifestyle creep feels harmless. You worked hard. You deserve it. But what it really does is lock you into higher expenses, reduce your flexibility, increase your dependence on income. And suddenly, you can't slow down. You can't take risks. You can't step back. You're earning more than ever, but you feel just as trapped. The discipline that changes everything. In this phase, you do something different. You delay gratification. As Warren Buffett said, if you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need. So instead of upgrading your life, you upgrade your position. You save more, you reinvest more, you build reserves, and slowly, you become unshakable. Final shift. Anyone can make money. Very few people keep it long enough to change their life. That's the difference. Because the path from $0 to $100,000 is not just about earning. It's about holding the line when everything in you wants to celebrate early. So stay simple, stay disciplined, stay focused. Because once you reach that first $100,000, you don't just have money, you have control. And that's when the real game begins.